back then, and Prince found his way here in like 1981, and I really don't know how. It's probably word of mouth. It's probably word of mouth, because he was a self-producer, but he obviously heard something, or somebody told him maybe you should try Sunset Sound, and he immediately fell in love with Studio 3.
We gotta dive into this. What's the first memory you have of even being contacted by one of his people or him, or how did you get?
Well, technically it wouldn't be me being contacted. It would be our booking person at the time. And I think he was handled by Cavallo Ruffalo and Fernoli, and they probably booked the session. And
did it just start off as one session for a week or something?
Yeah, it started off, and then it just snowballed.
10 years.
Yeah, like nine plus years, where he was here about 9 months out of the year in that room.
Christmas Day.
Oh yeah, he would work Christmas Day. He would work New Year's. It was crazy. Some of the days he would work.
He was a Jehovah's Witness as well, so obviously that made no difference to be on Christmas. But so would he have a security guard with him, or an assistant, or was he just sitting here by himself? And you walk outside and Prince is sipping on a Coke?
I think he felt. Well, he was kind of a shy guy,
Very introvert.
But he did hook up with quite a number of people out on the basketball court, and actually end up working with them. I think he hooked up with Sheena Easton out there, and they did some records together, like Sugar Walls and stuff like that. But there were other people too. But no, he didn't really have any bodyguards. I think he had a driver sometimes. But we were a secure facility.
Sure. Well, nobody knew he was here, obviously, like you said before. So he'd just come down at 10 in the morning and work, or just all different hours?
10 or 12. He'd come down, late morning, 12, work till the wee hours.
Bring session musicians in, different stuff every day.
He played a lot of the stuff himself.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He would play the drums, he would play the guitar, he'd do the vocals. He'd do the vocals in the control room. It was kind of interesting. He'd kick everybody out a lot of times and just do it himself. So he'd work the board and the tape machines. I mean, he was pretty proficient. Yeah, he was.
Just from piano, bass, drums, guitar. Yeah. I mean, there was nothing he didn't master.
But he had his band, the Revolution, with the girls, Wendy and Lisa, David Z. The Time, he was connected with Morris Day. They did their records here. It really snowballed. I mean, there was so much stuff that he did, and then there was always the ladies too. He always had these incredible good-looking ladies that he'd bring down, and a lot of them he'd produce and do a record with them. And Apollonia was just one of them. I mean, there was
hundreds,
dozens.
Prince. It's Prince.
Hey, it's Prince.
What's the story, real quick? I showed you that picture I found of him in studio, and I showed Paul the picture, and it's an upright piano. He goes, "Oh, I gave him that piano."
Yeah.
Because it was, the Doors had worked on it, but it was in studio. It was a studio piano, upright, and he just kind of fell in love with it and liked it. And
said, that was our really old upright tack piano that originally lived in this room. I can remember it used to sit right over here somewhere. And the Doors used that on a lot of that tack piano stuff you heard on their records. That was that piano. And so, tack pianos sort of lost favor, probably in the 70s, 80s. I think we took the tacks off. And it was living in the back hallway by Studio 3. So I think he discovered it back there and started using it, and just kind of really liked this piano.
Sure, comfortable with it.
So one day he comes to us and he's like, "I just love this piano, and I really would like to give it to my father for as a present, because he would love this." And I remember discussing it with a couple of the guys here, and I said, let's give it to him. He's been a great client. It's other than the nostalgic part of it, it's really not worth that much.
Yeah.
Although probably now it's worth something, especially if it's the Doors piano. But whatever, we gave it to him anyway, and I think he enjoyed it.
I just want to set up a visual for myself. So he would just kind of walk in the studio and, "Hey, Prince," it's just so surreal.
Oh yeah, he would just kind of waft in, kind of quietly. He was a quiet guy.
He's like 5'2", 5
Yeah,
foot.
and he wore the platforms.
Would he
I remember
dress
he'd be
like
out
that
there.
in studio?
Oh yeah, he had the I remember him playing basketball out there with the platforms on. It was like crazy.
Have you seen the Dave Chappelle skit where, they said he has this love for basketball, and Charlie Murphy, Eddie Murphy's brother, does a whole skit based on that.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I'd like to see
you.
that. Yeah.
Instantly, I thought, that started here. He was playing basketball here. I mean, we have a hoop right outside Studio 3.
He was always out there daily. He was always out on the basketball court. I think he'd a lot of times he'd wait till nobody was out there, but he would definitely go out there every day.
And you'd see him at 3 a.m. sometimes shooting hoops, or just
I wasn't here at 3 a.m,
okay.
but we'd have to ask the assistants that were on those sessions, and they're still around.